Have you ever felt less than, perhaps small or snubbed in some way? Maybe you've experienced the feeling of feeling like a paper bag floating through the wind waiting to start again. Well, quit your crying because the Gibbons have a few words to say. I like animals, and I like learning about animals. And so you can imagine some of the YouTube channels I'm subscribed to like to talk about animals, among other sciencey topics. And a YouTube channel that I really like, Casual Geographic, not too long ago uploaded a video about gibbons. For those who don't know, gibbons are a very specific brand of apes. Specifically, the only ape to inhabit the lesser ape category of apes. There's two kinds of apes, great apes and lesser apes. Lesser apes are the gibbons, and great apes are all the other ones, including human beings, because of course we'd call ourselves great. Go figure. So for this journey of YouTubing that I'm on and trying to figure out how and what I want to talk about, today I've decided to talk about a video from Casual Geographic, all about the gibbons, and I'm going to share some of my favorite parts with you.
Because uncovering a fossil that could jump rope its own skeleton, that Jumanji junk would have put us in another pandemic.
I just wanted to start with that little bit because I just find it so funny how I spent 100 days learning how to draw, and part of that, how to proportion draw a human right, and here goes the gibbon with freaking its elbows down to its knees. I know gibbons aren't people, but I'm just saying, like, elbows at, like, sorry, not knees, hips. Like that, just look at those arms, man. Their arms are so long, their high fives are used as evidence for, like, flat earthers, I bet.
Calling it monkey bars is an insult. If you did this as a kid, you were on gibbon timing. These branch-loving acrobats are the fastest things in the trees without wings. At 35 miles per hour, the tree goblin can break gate fast enough to get pulled over in a school zone. And they'll yeet themselves up to 30 feet between trees. Forget a leap of faith, that's a leap of fortune.
35 miles an hour. Wrap your head around that for a second. I know he makes a joke about, getting pulled over in a school zone, but just think about this. Where I live, at the very least, 35 miles per hour is the speed you go at when you don't know the speed limit of the road. That's crazy to me. The fastest human being on drugs was only able to go 27 miles per hour, and that was using these things we call legs, the very things we evolved to only use so we wouldn't use up energy using 4 limbs. And here the gibbons go with the ability to climb at speeds faster than we're even able to run. That I just think that's so freaking funny that they just evolved to be the world's best climbers. I mean, you look at any photos of them, like, not just like their long arms, but you look at their hands, like how long their hands and, like, fingers are, like, for all that catching and of the branches and stuff that they do. It's just so goofy to me, and I love it. He also goes on to say how if humans were proportioned like a gibbon, that, like, if they were 5'4" and that had the gibbon proportions, they'd have a wingspan of over 10 feet. Over 10 feet!
Because gibbons would rather run away than run huh? Gibbons are actually extremely territorial, and that, along with them having a 99 agility stat, is how you get the only animal alive that can vibe check a tiger and live to do it twice. Technically, it's mobbing behavior meant to drive away a predator using the power of parkour.
That's right, we may call them lesser apes, but how many apes do you know that could troll a tiger and live to tell the tale? None. That's how many, because they're not gibbons. Anybody out there that actually thinks that they could fight a tiger and live, you're wrong. You can't fight a tiger. Do you have any idea how dangerous a tiger is? I don't remember off the top of my head, but they're pretty dangerous. People like Casual Geographic know them as one of Mother Nature's delete buttons because they are that effective at what they do. I remember hearing a long time ago that getting pounced on by a tiger is like the equivalent of getting pounced on by a baby grand piano. I don't know if that's true. I have not fact checked that before recording this, but it sounds right, so I'm gonna go with it. But you should look it up. Don't just take my word for it. I'm not a science teacher or anything. I don't have the degrees for that. I just think it's so funny how like they're so territorial that they'll just go out of their way to just like yank on the ear or like the tail of a freaking carnivorous machine just to get him away. It's like, get away, get out of here, get out of here. And it's like the equivalent of like, you know that game like, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, like that, like siblings would play on each other. I don't know, just something like this to intentionally bother their siblings. It's like that, but more dangerous. I respect that. I respect Gibbons.
But the execution makes them move like Spider-Man minus morale. They're morale-less, but the only miles is how far they can drive a striped delete button crazy. Show me a great ape that can taunt a tiger. Many have tried. Most have died. A whole apex predator and Twig Ninja just ear-pulled them like a delinquent.
Did you catch that wordsmithing? The Miles Morales? Casual Geographic is a wordsmith among wordsmiths. It's one of the reasons why I love his channel so much. I just think he's so funny, and like in recent times, like with his videos, he's gotten bars with his animal facts. He's turned his animal facts into bars, and it's so entertaining. If you want to talk about accessibility, about learning, I think Casual Geographic he makes learning about animals a pretty freaking accessible, in my opinion. He even talks about how Gibbons mess with not just tigers but other animals too, even big cats or whatever that live in trees, that in the trees. They're that confident in their tree climbing abilities, which makes sense if you can go 35 miles an hour. And they mess with porcupines, which not like lions don't even like messing with. Wait, am I thinking of the right animal? I don't know. But other like carnivores don't like dealing with porcupines because they don't want to deal with the quills. You know, people don't like sticks in the mud or people with sticks up their butts. And they definitely don't like having sticks embedded in their skin. And animals most especially, because a lot don't have the constitution or the opposable thumbs to pull those babies out easily.
This is a Siamang. They're the heavyweights of the Gibbons at a whopping 30 pounds. They're the ones with that throat scrub, or as I like to call it, the chesticle. It's a pouch that works like an amplifier to broadcast their call, and clearly nature had an off day when it spawned a frog monkey that looks like one of Ben's 10.
Yup, the heavyweight of the Gibbons is a whopping 30 pounds. My dog weighs more than that, at around 50. Holy moly. Yeah, don't let that size fool you. That's all fur. Oh my gosh. I wanted to show this one off specifically, partially because I think out of all the Gibbons, I think this one's my favorite. I don't know, something about, you know, their shapes, their haircut. I don't know. I particularly like it. The chesticle is also kind of funny. It's of all the Gibbons he showed, that's the only one with a throat scrote, which it's just glorious. And it's also the very Gibbon that I used as a reference for the drawing that I'm doing, which in post should be time-lapsing to my left. Yes, let me know what you think about that. It's something I think I might continue to do in the future, drawings while I talk about stuff. And I'd be lying if I said the fact that he made a Ben 10 joke tangentially related to this particular Gibbon didn't have anything to do with the fact that I wanted to show it off. One of my first hyperfixations as I was a child, and to this day still holds a special place in my heart.
But I think nature knew it animated Slenderman's shadow a little too well, because it went ahead and gave them the most unserious vocal stim you've ever heard.
Oh, just hear that symphony. I think it's funny because from the visual perspective, it almost kind of looks like the first Gibbon that's like making the sound. It looks like he's crying, like covering his face with just one hand. But listening to it, it's almost sound kind of like coming off as it's building up to like a mic drop or sorry, not a mic drop, a beat drop. So, and then the second one just comes in out of nowhere. Ah! It's like, bro was just waiting for the beat to drop. Ah! About to bust it down sexual style. Venom, Adrenaline, venom, venom. Taking my time to go get 'em. They ain't gonna know what hit 'em. Yeah, no other comment. I just felt like doing that. In his next part, he talks about a 6-year-long study that was done on a whole, I don't know, habitat full of gibbons and trying to study like, you know, their relationships and whatnot. And the tale is kind of interesting, but it starts with like two separate families focusing on two teenagers, one female from one family, one male on the other family. And I'll let him take it away.
Both teenagers left their respective families, got together, and found a new territory to live in. And that's when stuff got weird. Because the teenage Guy Gibbon also had two younger juvenile brothers, and for reasons beyond me, they moved in with Big Bro and his girl. To Palombi, that was already cause to pause, but it got wicked once the adult male from the female Gibbons' original group, i.e. her father, disappeared. Because apparently a parent in past tense is a canon event. Well, with a sudden power vacuum, guess who filled in? Yeah, the same sub-adult male along with his baby brothers all moved into the female's group, and the teenager took his girl's dad's place. He then just moved back and forth between the two spots, meaning Mans was monkey branching from his original girl to her mother.
He then goes on to talk about how the mother and daughter had beef and how Palombe, I think I'm pronouncing that right, I hope I am. Palombe had to pick a side and he chose the mom. And the daughter had to, or the daughter of the mom eventually had to, you know, leave. And he ended up having a kid that was most likely, or she had a kid that was most likely, I already forgot his name. A comment in the comment section summarized it pretty perfectly. Bro went from I love her, comma, mom to I love her mom. So accurate. Truly the love story Hollywood doesn't want you to hear. So, somebody should make like a movie inspired by that. With the like, you know, is it a happy ending? Is it weird? I mean, it's kind of weird. I mean, especially depending on how you frame it. But that would be interesting to see that in a cinematic format.
Not only do they get their homes knocked down and trees removed, a lot of times they get reduced to pets. It's to the point where virtually every gibbon is flirting with extinction. In fact, some like the hyena might as well be in bed with it. I don't like ending the video like this, but I feel like gibbons being so overlooked makes it that much easier for the atrocities against them to get buried. And if we don't lock in and spread the word, nature's one-man comedy special will be canceled in our lifetime.
Yeah, not a very happy note to end on, I know, but that's what happens when you're endangered. It's not exactly a thrilling, hilarious tale for the comedic relief. I know. But hey, if this makes you want to support apes, you know, sorry, this, not apes, we are apes. Don't support apes, support lesser apes. If you want to support some lesser apes, I encourage you to, go looking for, there's probably some charities out there that exist that you could help them with. I don't know. But, so yeah, this video made me a big fan of gibbons. They are now my favorite form of ape next to orangutans. Not gonna lie. And I hope my commentary on this has made you a fan of gibbons as well. Yeah, go check out the full video and every other video on this man's channel. I don't know if I'll talk about videos in the future. Again, I'm still in this content journey, so trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing here. But yeah, definitely watch his videos because he is hilarious. I wasn't joking about the accessibility. I think if you struggle with like those YouTube channels that talk about science and you're like, oh, these words, the science, boring. It's like, watch his videos. Bro is a wordsmith among wordsmiths when it comes to the science. So yeah, tell me in the comments what you think about this little doodle that I did. I drew it in advance before recording. Now, in the future, I plan to do it in the opposite order, but since I have knowledge of it now, I might as well ask, what do you think? Yeah, it's a little doodle, a little sketchy, kind of reminiscent of clickbait over here. But it was nice, a fun 3 hours of my life. That's all I wanted to say, so ciao for now.